Welcome to Real Talk with Renisha. Happy New Year as we embark on the second season of talking to real people about real stories. And today, of course, you already know I have another amazing guest, and she hails all the way from Georgia, but originally a New Yorker. I want to introduce to you guys Miss Angie Horinek, and she is a retired international flight attendant. She's now an entrepreneur. She's a private chef and the owner of Evangeline's B&B. And we're going to hear a lot more about all of this with her, but she has an amazing, amazing story. And I know it's a story that every woman out there, young, middle-aged, or old, want to find out more about. So, guys, welcome to the show, Miss Angie Horinek. Hi, Angie.
Hello, Rennie. Hello, everybody.
I am so excited to have you here. Because, like I said, you are a multifaceted individual. You have lived an incredible life. Let's put it that way. You've lived an incredible life with a lot of stories to tell. And today we are going to tell just one of your stories because I already told you you're coming back. So in
Yeah.
the pre-interview, I already
I've
told
been
this
warned
woman
already that I'm coming back.
she's
Yes.
already coming back because there's no way we can talk to her about everything that she has to share in one episode. So stay tuned for the next one. We don't know when that is yet, but it's coming. So my guest, Angie, has gone through breast cancer. And it is the big C word. Like we were talking right before the interview. From the time we hit puberty as young girls, we are on the lookout for breast cancer. It can happen at any time in our lifespan. So, like I said, old, middle age, even young, we have to take this topic seriously. So, we're going to dive right in.
Let's
Okay.
do it. Let's do it. Let's get right into it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's my girl. That's the New York attitude I'm talking about. That's
Okay.
right. That's right. So, Angie, you are a survivor of breast cancer. Can you tell us about your battle with breast cancer over the time you were diagnosed and literally just break it down for us? What was your experience like? Tell us what happened and how, did you get here where you are right now?
Well, just that question alone is fully loaded, number one. So
I know.
we're gonna go delve really deeply into all the different stages. I can tell you my initial examination was at the age of 35, was suggested because my grandmother had died of breast cancer.
Okay.
Um, and it wasn't until 5 years later, at the age of 40, when I found a lump. And
Okay.
I'm going to discuss how to do an examination later on. Uh,
Awesome.
but that's how I discovered it myself. And then, of course, you have to go in and, get biopsies and diagnoses and all that other jazzy stuff. It's not pretty. And for me, I've been through breast cancer twice now. So
Oh,
the first time was at the age of 40, and then it came back 10 years later. So
wow.
let's just start from the very beginning because,
Yes,
breast cancer diagnosis and journey can vary greatly from person to person, right? So
exactly.
here is just a brief breakdown of the common stages that I went through, as well as most other breast cancer survivors have gone through.
Okay.
First is the diagnosis. The journey often begins with a routine mammogram, self examination, or symptoms that prompt a visit to a healthcare professional.
Okay.
Diagnostic tests, including mammograms, ultrasounds, biopsies, are often conducted to confirm the presence of breast cancer. Receiving a breast cancer diagnosis can be extremely emotionally overwhelming, and it
Yes.
often involves consultations with multiple healthcare professionals. I could tell you when I first heard the word, it's devastating. It injects
Yes.
fear of the
Yes.
unknown of your future, of whether or not you even want to
Yes.
be able to survive it. And each of the stages that I've experienced, there's people that passed away
Oh,
from
absolutely.
experiencing
Yes.
those stages. And
Yes.
yet I'm still
Yes.
here to have a testimony. So thank you for having me here to be able to discuss this. Um,
Thank you. Yes, the
Thank
pleasure is
you.
mine.
So the next part is the staging. Like after your
Yes.
diagnosis, medical professionals determine the stage of breast cancer, which help guide your treatment decisions.
Mhm.
Staging involves assessing the size of the tumor, its location, lymph node involvement, and whether the cancer has spread to other parts of the body. And then you got to, plan your treatments. It's personalized based on the type and stage of your own breast cancer. And, the common treatments, what I've experienced the
Mhm.
first time was the bilateral mastectomy, followed by flap reconstruction. And what that means is
Mm.
that both of my breasts,
Mhm.
everything, all the breast tissue has been removed. And then
Okay.
they took my latissimus dorsi muscle from my back here. It's the muscle that helps you do pull ups or scoot back.
Mhm.
And they took those muscles to create a shell. And then underneath it are implants and meat. And that was the first time around. Okay. The second time around included what I just described as far as the common treatment options, which is the mastectomy, chemotherapy, and then radiation, and then hormonal, and then targeted therapy. And it took me a year
Wow.
basically undergoing those types of surgeries and treatments. And like I said, lastly is the surgery, the removal of the tumor,
Right.
and any lymph nodes near the tumor itself. So
Okay.
for me, first time around, they the mastectomy bilateral, and they removed a lot of lymph nodes. So there's a lot of scars tissue because they have to go under the arm to remove a lot of the lymph nodes. Okay. It's a major, major surgery. I think I was on that table 14 hours.
Whoa.
Yeah, because it's the removal of all the tissue and then you got to replace all of that. And then when you come out of that surgery, you are total bandages. You have these drain cups that's hanging in order to expel the excess fluids that your lymph nodes can no longer expel from your body. You know,
Okay.
girl, this is heavy. You ready? Because we getting
Wow.
deep into it. This is
Oh.
heavy. This is not
And-
a candy cane conversation.
well, just the little bit you have shared, I'm like, wow, that's a lot.
It's that's
That's a
just and
lot.
that's just that.
The beginning. Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
And then you know, you start thinking about other therapies that, it's just that whole planning of your
Mm-hmm.
treatments and what's going to be next. And that's what's scary because if you're not a medical professional to learn to know all the
Mm-hmm.
terminologies and how to
Mm-hmm.
navigate the medical world, is really difficult to try to make the best decision in that regard, because you
Wow.
just don't know.
Don't know. Yeah.
You go
Yeah.
in following your medical advice that you're getting from these different amazing professionals. And I gotta say, the people at the New York hospital was amazing for me my first time around, and the Miami Cancer Institute,
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal service down there. So, and now you have to think about, follow up and monitoring and survivorship. What does that
Yes.
look like? You know,
Yes.
and and then just the ongoing wellness that you have to have in order to be able to continue moving forward in your life. And all of that is not easy, but you
Well,
can do it. You can do it.
when it says it's a life-changing event, your life is never the same after something like that. It could never be. And
No.
just like you said, just the planning day to day.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
means my job is going to be
Every
disrupted.
Yes, your family,
Family life is going to be disrupted. Absolutely. It's
everything
this
that you
priority.
know will be changed and disrupted. And then you also have to think about what support you might have when you're going through it.
Big. I was going to get to that because that's huge.
it's
That's
massive.
huge.
It's massive. So we could talk about that a little later on too, because that's a
Yeah,
whole other topic.
absolutely. Well, I mean, I know all of it is ginormous. All of it is rough. All of it is like I'm saying, wow.
Mm,
I never thought about it from that perspective. So I'm saying I just love my life we're doing this conversation because we hear about it. People say, yeah, I went through this. And we know again it's a big deal, but they never share the depth. They don't share the depth. And I want to know the depth. Because if
well,
any of us got to go
let's
through
do
it,
it.
that might be part of what we got to go through. That's the
Yeah.
depth.
And
Yes.
find and
Absolutely.
hopefully someone will find this helpful,
Yeah. Oh,
with that.
absolutely.
It's no longer going to be a mystery for them,
It
you
shouldn't
know.
be. And like you're saying, just trying to navigate that whole medical world. Who knows how to do any of that stuff? We're not trained like that.
No,
So I got to really trust my medical professionals.
correct.
Because my life pretty much is in their hands to a certain extent.
Correct.
Oh,
And you need to make sure to do your research to ensure that
yeah.
wherever you're getting your treatments, that they're going to treat you like a real person. We are living in an age where people are not liking each other for minute reasons, quite honestly.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, you need to feel comfortable with your medical professional that who's going to be working on your body. You need to know that they're
You're
okay with
open.
you. Yeah, yeah,
Your body's wide open.
exactly. And you're
There's no hiding,
vulnerable.
shyness. All that has to go out the door. You're
Oh,
exposed. You're exposed. Yes.
and we can even get a little deeper into that because after the surgeries, that's a
Okay.
whole nother beast.
Ooh. So, okay, what would you say was some of the most challenging or difficult moments that you faced during the whole ordeal, or even like the early parts, the middle part, the end part? What are some of the
Um,
most challenging things that you felt maybe you weren't ready for in those
uh,
moments?
girl, is a slew of effects
Oh,
that I felt. And I listed them here, and I'm just gonna just list the titles of them and not necessarily explain them too deeply. But
fine.
first of
Yeah.
all, it's the initial diagnosis. You know what I
Yes.
mean? When you're receiving the news, breast cancer, and it can be extremely emotional because you're fearful about your future. It's
Yes.
extremely distressing.
Yes. Yes.
Then is the treatment and decision making, like what you're going to do next in order to treat it, to get rid of it.
Yes.
Chemo, radiation, mastectomy. Is it going to be optional or what? And then there's the physical side effects. The treatment, can lead to various physical side effects such as hair loss.
Yes.
Chemo. I lost all my hair. I'm
Yes.
5 years in remission now, and it's just growing back to this.
Wow. Yeah.
5 years later.
Yeah.
And you also have extreme nausea and fatigue. Um, and then you also have the emotional and physical taxation of it
Wow.
all. You know what I mean? You have emotional distress, financial stress. The relationship is out of whack because your intimacy levels are not the same.
Yes.
Your support system is what you really truly need. And if you don't have that, this is when you got to
Mm.
really dig deep within
Ooh.
yourself to find your own strength. And we
Wow.
ladies, we have it within ourselves to be strong for ourselves, regardless if we have that support network or not. Keep that in mind, no matter what.
Just to quickly just interject there. We are strong. Women are strong. We know that. But some of us are so strong all the time. And in times like this, I don't want to be strong. I
No,
want someone else to hold my hand. I can do it, but I don't want to do it.
exactly. And
Yes.
that's the piece that will help you cross the finish line with this.
Mm.
When you have that support to
Yes.
allow you to lean on someone, help
Yes.
carry you over that threshold.
Yes.
The challenge is, you're right, there's a lot of us that's super strong out there, but no,
Yes.
you don't want to be strong through something like this. No,
Yes.
you want to be able to
Yes.
lean on someone. Hopefully you
Yes.
do have that. The challenge is if you don't have that and you're going through this on your own, or maybe you're in a situation where your relationship is not as positive
Mhm.
as you would like for it to be, and you're still going to be dealing with toxic situations at home after having those
Yes.
toxins pumped in your body.
The physical and the mental toxins. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
extremely
Mhm.
draining, and And then you got to start thinking about long-term survivorship. You know, while surviving breast cancer is a significant accomplishment, you know, I deal with the fear of recurrence every day. Like I said, it came back 10 years later. So now I'm 5 years in remission. I'm hoping to make the next 5 years amazing because I'm praying to God it doesn't come back in the next 5 years. So, and then you got to think about your body image and then your self esteem afterwards, which takes
Yes.
a major hit, major hit. And then you got your sexual health, as we mentioned earlier, navigating
Yes.
the healthcare system, and then coping with loss, either the loss of a family member who died of breast cancer, or even your body parts, loss of your body parts. You have to grieve
Yes.
that as
Oh my
well.
gosh. Yes.
Heavy.
Yes. Yes. And it's funny you said grieve that because I never even thought about it from that perspective. Losing your body parts, losing parts of our body that we've had all our life. And when we touch there now, it's no longer there. And being
Exactly.
okay with that, being content with that to move
Exactly.
forward.
That's the challenge. And we as women, that's part of our intimacy and sexuality. You know what I mean? When we're intimate, that's the first place that you feel
Yes,
sensation.
correct,
And so
correct.
now for me, I no longer have that. So I experience a lot
Yes.
of what's the word, the phrase that I'm looking for is ghost phantom sensations. Like
Okay,
I
okay,
remember what it was like to have breast. And so every now
okay.
and again, I feel that sensation that I used to have before, I no longer have. Does
No
that make
longer.
any sense? Am I saying that right? I hope I am.
I haven't heard the terminology, so I'm like intrigued.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
it's
but it
it's
makes sense.
yeah,
Phantom,
it's as
yes,
though if someone lost a limb, you know what I mean? You're so
yes,
used to having your leg or your arm, and now all of a
yes,
sudden you don't.
yes,
You still
yes.
think you still have it, you know what I mean?
Absolutely,
The body still
absolutely.
thinks, and so you remember the sensation of having
Yes,
it.
yes,
That whole body
yes,
muscle memory thing, I think comes
yes,
into play.
yes.
And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that is exactly what you're doing. You're grieving the loss of a body part or parts of your body. And it's not just breast cancer. I'm referencing breast cancer because that's what I've gone through. And there's
Correct.
a lot of people that's undergoing so many different types of cancers,
Absolutely.
and it's the same process in all
Yeah,
of that,
yeah,
yeah, scary. It's
yeah.
scary.
Oh,
It's
absolutely. Because
I don't
again,
want to go through this ever.
I just love the fact that we're talking about grieving the loss. I got to emphasize that because I don't think people like myself who haven't gone through it would even phantom in our brains that that's a loss. I have to grieve that.
You need to
I
process that
grieve it. Yeah.
because it's ongoing, that
One of
grief.
my, I was gonna say one of my questions talks about self-esteem. I'm gonna skip over one just for a minute because we're on this kind of this wavelength right now. You
Mhm.
know, how has this disease affected your self-esteem and overall self-confidence as a woman?
Well, um, has a profound effect on me
Okay.
due to the physical, emotional, psychological challenges that it presents. You know what I mean? And
Correct.
um, here are some of the ways that it has affected me. One of them is my body image.
Correct.
Now, when I look at myself without my clothes on, you know what I mean? My body is so different. I have
Yes.
so many more scar tissue now, And so that feeling of loss, grief, and whole body images totally impact my self-esteem because I don't look the way that I did before the surgery. I don't feel the same way I did before the surgery. And even now, when it comes to being intimate, it's different. It's so
Yeah.
different. And then also the loss of femininity. That's exactly how I feel.
Yes.
That's where my, femininity lies, and now it's been stripped from me. And
Yes.
what do you do now? What do you do now?
Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah.
then you
Can't be
have the
replaced.
scars, exactly.
Yeah.
Physical changes, the hair loss,
Yes.
again, the whole sexual health. It
Hmm.
affects all of that, So it's important, I think, that you know, those of us who have gone through it or still going through it or about to go through it, you got to have a strong support system, because it's not that difficult for your self-esteem to be broken down even more so when you're undergoing something like that.
Can't stress it enough. Support. Can't stress support.
Yeah,
Anything we're going through, we need support. We need to know that somebody has our back. And I
exactly.
cannot imagine any woman going through such an ordeal and not having that support, that rock to lean on. Because again, you're stripped. You are
Girl,
stripped. Physically, mentally,
emotionally,
literally
psychologically,
stripped.
yes,
You're
yes,
stripped. You're stripped.
yes.
You gotta have a rock. You gotta have a pillar.
And if you don't,
Somebody.
then that means you
Ooh,
got to be your own rock.
it's hard. It's hard.
It's
Support is,
extremely difficult to
oh,
be out in
absolutely.
this world on your own and having to deal with
Absolutely.
heavy issues like this
Absolutely.
without
Yes.
support.
Support. And again, that's anything that we go through.
So
Anything that we
get
go
it, get the
through,
support if you have
we
it.
need support.
Yes, appreciate it, ask for it. And there's medical professionals that can help, if not family members and friends.
Absolutely.
There's so many healthcare facilities that offer support services as well
Correct.
as counseling to help
Yes.
cope with body image issues, self-esteem concerns,
Yes.
and other
Yes.
emotional aspects of
Yes.
breast cancer. So,
Yes.
as long as that's out there, you're not going to really be on your own.
Correct. But you know, you aren't technically because we can always reach out for help. But in those quiet moments, you're alone. If you don't
It's
have that, you're alone
There's no
because you have
buffer.
that time to think.
There's no room for lies. It's all truth in
Yeah.
those quiet moments with yourself.
Yes.
When you go to look at your life, how did I get to this point? Did I do all the
Yes.
things that I always wanted to do? It makes you put your life into perspective now. You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
where we were doing whatever we were doing as flight attendants, having a good time, you know
That's
what I
right.
mean?
That's
Suddenly you
right.
realize, man, I'm 40. I got to do this now.
Life
And
has
then it
changed.
turns out, yeah, to be something that has to be progressed.
Yes. Yes. It's making sense because one of my questions again says, what did you envision your life
Mm.
be like during struggles with breast cancer? And were you the optimistic type? Because I hear optimism, I hear hope right now. But when you were going through that, were you that type of person?
I'm going to say yes,
Okay.
mostly,
Awesome.
primarily because I'm
Awesome.
a foster kid. I've been on my own since the age of 14.
Awesome.
Growing up on the streets of New York, during the 80s and all of that crack epidemic and, not having parents and things like that,
Yes.
So I've learned to rely on focusing on God as being my Lord and Savior and Father. And that's
Amen.
where I put my focus
Your
and
hope.
try to
Yes.
get guidance from.
Yes. Yes.
So I try to be as optimistic as I can, but
Correct.
sometimes it's extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Um, Trying to find a silver lining can be difficult, period, regardless if you're going through this
Mhm.
or not. You have to be able to believe that there's something better for you. This is just a hiccup. This is just a challenge to discern whether or not you're going to be able to get past this and not
Mm.
allow it to defeat you. The whole point
Yes.
is
Mhm.
to learn to be a soldier in life, I think, and to be a soldier. I've never been
Mm.
military, but that means to follow who your leader is and, take the necessary steps and lead the best ways you can. And regardless of what happens to you, step up and keep it moving. I mean, so yes, to answer your question, yes,
You
I
like
am
me.
that person, and I'm always was seeking support. I
Yes.
always try to maintain hope that I'm going to be okay. Um,
Yes.
I'm very resilient. I'm could be after having chemo treatment, I'm at home making cooking videos. You know what I mean? On
Yes.
YouTube, and I'm sharing
Yes.
my bald head, and I'm talking to other people
Yes.
because that was my outlet. So I'm not focusing on the cancer. Now I'm focusing on sharing information to help other people
Yes.
eat well, and not on my cancer. So you got to have a positive mindset in all of this at the end of the day. And also educate yourself
Mm-hmm.
to what you're
Must.
going through and how you're going to want to move forward. You always got to engage in self care. Always,
Yes.
always, always.
We'll get to
Um,
that later.
and you gotta have participate in support groups. I personally, at first I did go to support groups. Okay,
Okay, good. Talking
nothing
about therapy,
wrong
yeah.
with support groups. For
Mm-hmm.
me, I don't want to keep talking about it.
Okay.
I don't want to keep. I want to say this is what happens, and this is what I want to do. How do I get from here to here? you know?
So did you find that the support groups were more kind of, excuse me, redundant in hearing the story over and over, but not necessarily giving you like a way to move
Right.
forward?
Correct.
Okay.
That's that's
Mm,
that's that's and that's where I felt empty because
okay.
I needed help in how to move forward. How yes, this is happening. I don't begrudge anybody. I'm not belittling or judging, but for
Mm-hmm.
me personally, I'm a New Yorker. Give it to me straight. You know what I mean? Like
There we
this is what's
go.
happening.
New York
This is
state of
what we got to
mind.
do, and this is how we're going to get there.
How we get from point A to point B. And and I feel like support groups does have its place
I
because one
do.
of my professors says, were you in therapy? And support groups is a form of therapy, absolutely. But were you also on a one-on-one type of,
Yes.
therapy environment? So tell us a
Yes.
little bit about that and how that helped you as well.
Um, because it helps me create um, purposeful mindfulness.
Yes.
Basically, that
Yes.
one on one
Mhm.
was the time that I needed to vent my frustrations.
Correct.
That wasn't with a family member or friend, someone who's neutral, but also specializes in this arena of
Yes.
oncology. So
Yes.
they understand the transitions that I'm going through.
Absolutely.
Um, but ultimately, I have to say it helped provide a practice of
Mhm.
mindfulness, being present in
Wow.
now and today. And yes, this is what you're going through, but you can get through this. You know what I mean? Just keep fighting. You just keep moving forward. That's all you got to. And in the event that you're not
Mhm.
going to be 100, you still got so much to offer while you're here. And that's why we have to maintain hope. We have to be able to embrace resilience. We have to educate ourselves and keep
Mm. Yes.
engaging in self care and continue creating a supportive environment for ourselves in
Oh,
general, just as people in general, I think.
I love it. But sometimes we have to go through something, an ordeal, not even like this, an ordeal that stops us in our tracks and literally gives us that time and space now to smell the roses. It's always there. It's always
Girl,
been there. Always been there.
girl.
Now I'm not busy anymore because I'm laid up for whatever reason. It could be cancer, it could be any kind of illnesses. And now I literally got to take that step back and process and make
Yes,
all those changes that you just talked about.
yes.
Because your life has to change.
It
Your
has
life
to.
will change
Yes,
because of something like this,
yes,
any kind of major thing. And I love what you said, self-care, taking care of the, we shouldn't have to have a major ordeal for us. And I'm stressing this again in 2024. Self-care, Lord. Ooh, somebody will get it one of these days. We shouldn't have to go through a major ordeal to realize that I got to take care of.
Exactly. And we as women, we really got to pause to inject some self-care for ourselves. We are constantly
Oh,
stretching ourselves so thin, there's
yes,
nothing left for ourselves.
yes,
You know what I
nothing.
mean? And then before you know it, we're getting sicker and sicker and sicker because we're bringing on everybody else's toxic energy into our world. And I think this is where self care comes in, where you get an
Yes,
opportunity to kind of purge any negativity, any of that unnecessary stuff. Get rid of it. Take care of you. Be pampered because we girls. I
oh,
want a massage. I
yes,
want to
yes,
talk about things. I want to
yes.
laugh. I go hang out with my girls, or
Absolutely.
you
We
know,
need that because
we
we
do.
take on so much. We're moms, we're wives, we're aunties, everybody, we're grandmas, everybody's calling us, everybody wants something from us. And
Yes.
we are constantly running on empty. And
And
at
yet
some
our tank isn't being filled.
thank you. Well,
Our tank isn't
we're
being filled.
going. So it's empty, and who is filling it?
Who's feeling it? You gotta feel it. How you gonna
But
feel
do
it?
you have the time to fill the tank?
And
A lot
how?
of times we don't.
And
So
what are
we
you
get
filling it
sick,
with?
we get ill, we get knocked down, we get stressed out, we get breakdown. And
Yes.
now I'm forced to fill the tank.
I'm
Should have
forced
been
to
filling the
pay
whole time.
attention. Yes. I'm for as a flight attendant, I have to say, I enjoyed the job. I enjoyed traveling. I enjoyed the flexibility of it. I enjoyed when I went into management. That was a great experience for me as well.
Yeah.
Um, but I have to say, it's a very lonely life. It
Yes.
really is very, very lonely.
Yeah.
And I think that took a toll as well on your mental wellness. You know,
Yes.
I personally um, enjoyed it, but it's the late nights or the lack of sleep or the improper diet,
Mm-hmm.
which I think was a major contributing factor that could have contributed to the breast cancer and the routes that we were flying, being
Right.
exposed to radiation and just
Right.
our everyday environment, really, when you think about it, jet fumes and all this other stuff that we're exposed to is not something that's naturally we're supposed to be around,
No,
so our bodies may have a reaction to it. So,
it does. And I actually did a research paper on flight attendants and the lifestyle when I was in grad school. I had to. I had to, definitely had to. And people see the glamour. I don't know if nowadays they do, to be honest, right? But for the most part, people see the glamour, and there's so much toxicity behind
yes,
the job. And when
yes,
I did the research, I was just like, wow. He said the lack
yes,
of sleep, the improper diet, the jet lag, the not being in the same space enough at the same, so
yes,
much. Ooh, the mental health issues. And behind the scenes, there's a lot going on. There's a whole lot going on.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, I agree.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
agree. And a lot of us who are even in those positions have come from pretty tough backgrounds
Absolutely.
on top of it.
Yes.
So we're
Yeah,
natural nurturers. That's why we're in that business. That's why we do
absolutely.
that. And this is why I do
Absolutely.
what I do. I'm a natural nurturer. I want to keep loving on you and for
Yes.
you. And that's why I do what I do. So at the end
Absolutely.
of the day, now, when you start thinking about, you know, like I'm post breast cancer, like today I had my appointment with my oncologist
Okay.
and that went well. So I'm happy for that.
Awesome.
There's been some changes. I've had some recent surgeries, but ultimately,
Yeah.
I'm 5 years in remission
Yes.
now. And let's talk about those examinations, those breast
Yes.
examinations.
I did skip around a little bit, but we're gonna go back. So we
Okay.
talked about again, we know from very, very young that we're supposed to be doing those self exams.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, Angie, I don't know the last day I did a self exam.
Okay. We're doing one right now. We're doing
Right
one
now.
right now.
Right
Okay.
now.
Right now. We're doing it right now.
Let's
And
do it.
wearing our clothes. Okay. You
Yes.
need to be able to do this. First and foremost, you got to, pick the right time for yourself
Okay.
to do this. Um,
Correct.
First of all, you got to do a visual examination.
Hmm.
So the first thing you're going to do is stand in front of the mirror
Okay.
with your arms. I'm be sitting in a chair right now, but with your
Okay.
arms at your side,
Okay.
okay? Wait. Yeah, with your arms at your side, and then raise them above your head. And then you're going to be, while you're naked, you're doing this while you're naked. Okay, not with clothes on, just so you know. But
I
I'm just
know, but
helping you
I'm
do that.
doing it.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then you're going to look for any changes in your breast size, in the
Okay.
shape, if there's any contouring. So while your arms are up like this, you're going to be taking a look to see if there's any dents or any lumps, or even under your underarms. You have to
Yes.
check under here. You
The
also have to
armpits.
check along your collarbone.
Hmm.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yes, because these are where your lymph nodes are of where breast cancer can exist. Okay.
Okay.
Um, then you're going to check for changes in your skin, any dimpling, and any nipple abnormalities,
Hmm.
discharge,
Okay.
clear or cloudy, stuff like that.
Okay.
Your manual examinations,
Mm-hmm.
standing or lying down. Okay. This is how you're going to do it.
Okay.
Using the pads of your finger, not
Mm-hmm.
your fingertips, but the pads
Okay.
of your fingers. Okay. You're going to raise your arm and start with the outer. Well, actually, do this hand on your hip.
Okay. Okay.
It's better, it's more relaxing. And then
Okay.
you're going to start with the outer edge of your breast in a circular motion all the way around using, you see how I'm doing this? It's like you're walking
Yes.
along
Yes.
all the way around, all the way around, in a circular motion all the way. And just
Mm.
look for anything that may not feel normal.
Right.
And if not, you get all the way around until you get to the nipple,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to squeeze.
Oh.
And
Okay.
it's that gently, not, yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
I know that feeling.
Well, hey.
So you just want to make sure that you don't have any discharge or
Discharge.
anything like that, and then do it on the opposite
The other
side.
side.
So
Yeah.
you don't want to see blood or any clear fluid that's coming out. So if there is any changes, of course you need to go and
See you, doctor.
see your medical professional.
Yes.
Yes,
I do
yes.
want to put in there because a lot of women like myself who have very, very dense breasts.
Mm,
I do the mammograms and I do the
mm,
sonograms and I do all of it because so dense.
mm-hmm.
Is there anything extra we should be doing? Because we know there's a lot of lumps in there. That's just how the way our body is.
I don't know how to answer that question
Okay,
personally, outside of the regular actually touching yourself and feeling your body, because only you know
correct.
what's different about your body. If you have dense
Correct.
breasts, you're used to having dense breasts, but you'll notice if something ain't right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're doing
Yeah.
all the right steps. I wish I
Hmm.
could answer that question better for you, but
Okay.
I think doing those manual self examinations is an awesome start, and I think
Yes.
you should do it frequently. I'm not going to say once a month or anything like that, but I would say every time you're in the shower, I think you should just
Every
check
day.
yourself out. Yeah,
That's
every
every day.
day, because
Yeah.
it will pop up out of nowhere, and then
One day
before
you
you
find the
know
next
it,
day there's a lump.
exactly.
Yeah.
And if you don't
Yeah.
notice it right away, it could turn into something worse.
Exactly. Every
So early
day.
detection is important.
The best care. It's the
Yes.
best care. Yes.
Yes.
And I'm all about prevention. Like I said before, again, all about prevention. So if you can do something right now to prevent or find out earlier than normal, why not?
And part of finding out earlier, one of the things is to take the BRCA test, and that's
Hmm.
supposed to determine whether or not you have a genetic destination to get sick from breast cancer.
Correct.
I personally tested negative. So even though my grandmother
Hmm.
died of breast cancer, I didn't have a
Yes.
genetic predisposition in getting it, which
Okay.
deduced that it's environmental.
Correct.
It was
Interesting on that.
that
Because that is
you,
one of the questions they ask. Is there any
yes,
family member who has passed? Very, very popular question.
yes,
Interesting. That yours was
yes.
negative.
And also pay attention to the environment and where you're living, whether or not they're pumping toxins in the air,
Oh,
in a lot of places,
wow.
that's exactly what's happening, and you can't escape it. So, and that's unfortunate. I hate to say it, but it's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
So some of it can be genetics, but some of us also can be the environment and how we are living and where we're living.
And diet too,
Oh,
so all
absolutely.
environmental. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, this is heavy, girl. You're getting me
Ooh,
deep.
I know. Okay, we're going lighter. We're going lighter. We gotta go lighter because Lord, yes. But again, I'm so grateful to get that kind of real, deep, solid information. I really am because
This is serious too, I there's people who handle trauma differently.
absolutely.
um I'm personally speaking, I'm the kind of person, okay, this is the problem, what are the steps we need to do to fix it, and then I want to take the steps to fix it. And if at the end those steps aren't working, then let's tweak it and figure it out, and then we keep it moving. It's the same to me in relationships and things like that. If something isn't working, you got to look at it and try to fix it. It's like having your tools. You don't leave your tools outside to get rusted in the rain.
Correct.
You're gonna
Correct.
want to use
Yeah.
them later, so why don't you protect them, put them back in the shed, oil them up, whatever, protect it as best you can so you can use them later, right? So
You are one tough lady, Miss Angie. No, for real.
um,
You are tough. I mean, like I said, I know we have the toughness and I know we got to get through this, but it's like, I'm like, I need like weeks to process, cry, do whatever I need to do. And then like, okay, now I'm ready to tackle this thing, let's kick butt,
no,
girl power or whatever it is I need to like push me,
I hear
to
you.
start
I hear
fighting
you.
this,
I hear
but
you. At
yeah,
the end of the day,
yeah,
you got to do whatever it takes that's going to help you get through that. If that means you got to purge by crying, purge by talking,
yeah.
just, walking, exercise, whatever. Because for me, it was a little different. My crying was for different reasons. It wasn't because of
Mm.
breast cancer.
Okay.
That's a
Okay.
different segment.
Oh, okay. Okay. All
That's
right. Yeah.
a
Like I
different
said,
segment.
guys, she's coming back. So I hope you get that segment in the next show because I want to know. Because I'm telling you, you're talking about I'm going through this big old ordeal in my life. I'm crying, I'm shedding, but it ain't for that. Ooh, that's deep. All
Yes,
right. All right.
yes,
Next show, y'all. Y'all gotta tune in.
yes. Like, what
Ooh,
happened?
yes. Yes. Yes.
What
Yes.
happened?
We are going to go a little bit lighter. Oh my gosh. But so far,
Okay.
so grateful for the information. So,
Yes.
according to your bio, Miss Angie, you mentioned that, and I love the way you put it, cooking is my love language and gardening is my meditation. And I love that quote. Please elaborate on this for us. Love it.
Um, Cooking as a love language. Basically, that
Mm.
context goes back to, it was popularized by a Dr. Chapman or something like that.
The five love languages. Love it.
Yes,
I still work with that.
yes,
Love it. Yes.
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 Okay.
Yes.
So, one of them is acts of service, right?
Yes.
And so that is one of the love languages. And for some people, it includes cooking for their loved
Hmm.
ones. And that's me. That's how, I love cooking. I love experimenting. I want to cook according to your diet because I want you to feel loved and pampered in every way.
Oh,
And that's how
wow.
I do it, is through food and
Hmm.
hospitality. I want you to know that you're family
Yes.
already. I love you already when you show up. So
Mm.
it's not because you
Yes.
spent money on me or anything like that. It's because you just showed up, and I appreciate you for even being there.
Yes.
So yeah, and it's just a form of expressing love ultimately, and
Wow.
connecting with people through nourishment, you know? Um,
Mm.
and
Food is
gardening,
a lot. Yes.
it is,
Yes.
it is.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that gardening is my new thing. Because remember,
Okay.
I'm a New Yorker, I'm a city girl. I don't know nothing about no garden, you know?
Get a little plot of
And,
land and we call it a garden. It ain't really
yeah,
a garden.
no, no. But now I'm fortunate enough to have just under 11 acres that I can work
Woo.
with right now. And
Nice.
so I'm transforming myself to be a gardener and to be a responsible gardener, like doing horticulture and permaculture and figuring out ways of gardening, um,
Yes.
and farming that's more conducive to the environment. So
Mm,
it hasn't
yes.
been until recently where, these type of professionals have been coming into my life. And I think that's primarily because I put out a prayer for help. I need this, God. I can't do
Yes.
this by myself. You
Yes.
got me here so far. I'm still here. I'm
Yes.
still your daughter. So,
Yes. Oh my
um,
gosh. Warm and
yes,
fuzzy. Yes. Yes.
yes,
You are a caretaker. You are a giver.
yes. And it's a
Both
stress
food.
reducer too. So being in the
Yes.
garden. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're creating.
Mm-hmm.
Garden is
Planting
creating.
seeds.
Yes, you're creating. You're planting new
Growth.
seeds. You are creating.
Yes.
People come into your B&B, and I could just see them. You're like welcoming them. Hey,
Yes.
you enter the door. Here you go for you as a thank you for
Yes.
just choosing me out of everyone else that you could have
Out of
chosen.
everyone, exactly. And when you
Ooh, I
stay
love
here,
it.
every detail of your stay
I love
is
it.
noticed. You know what I mean? And that's what you will pick up on. So that's how you know when somebody cares about you, when you can look and pay attention to the details that they put in
Ooh.
place
And I'm
just
telling
for
you, I
that.
love the details.
Yeah, we
I
women
love to
normally
go to
do.
a place and I love you pay attention to details.
Yes.
And I'm going to go above and beyond for you.
Yes. Because you deserve it. Everybody deserves it. You don't know what anybody is going through,
Oh,
you know?
preach.
And
Yes.
if we could just take the time to
Oh,
just say, hey, I see you. And since I've been down here, I have to say, I know we do this in New York, but it's more prominent down here. It's like a silent communication down here. That head
is
nod.
it?
It's the head nod.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like because down here, the whole racial tensions in history. And so
correct.
it's genetic down here where people automatically, especially of color, when they see you, they acknowledge you. You know what I mean? With
Okay.
the head nod, meaning to say, I
Yes.
see you.
I see you.
I
Wow.
see you. You're not here by yourself. If something goes down, I'm here to witness it. I see you. I'm here for
Wow.
you. I acknowledge your presence here.
I like it.
I do
I like
too.
it. Again, living in New York, nobody sees anything.
Not
Hello.
really.
Well, girl,
I'll force you to smile at me.
the most horrendous stuff is going on in front of your eyes and you kind of like really didn't see
You're
it
like, step over.
because you're in here. You're in that zone. Oh my God. So I love that. You're being acknowledged. I see you.
Being acknowledged. And
Hmm.
and I think a lot of us
Oh, I
need
love
that.
that.
I think we're
Oh,
feeling so alone, a lot of us.
yes.
And we don't
Yes.
need to be alone.
Yes.
This we're so amazing. And if we just get a chance to just hang out with each other a little bit, we get to see how amazing we each are and what we have to contribute, you know?
Ooh,
So
you are going to be like my spotlight for self-esteem over here. Because Angie, so many people don't know that. They don't know that they're valuable. They don't know
girl,
that they're valuable. They don't know their self-worth because it's based on so many criteria that are outside of us.
yes,
We don't understand. We got it inside of us.
yes,
It's in here. That's not out there. It's in here.
always has
And
been.
oh my gosh.
Always has been. We just got to learn how to tap into it, especially
Yes.
during those moments of pain.
Yes. Yes.
Not looking for somebody else to what's the word? Console us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we got to know how to
Yes.
console ourselves
Absolutely. We
without
do.
external.
We do. Because as I said, some of us don't have that. And we
No.
still got to be the big girls and do what we got to do
Yep. At the end of the day.
at the end of the day.
At
So,
the end of the
yes,
day. So that's why let's put it out there. Girl, you need help? Call me. I'll take care of you. You sick? Come
that's
some,
right.
go someplace where you know somebody's going to take really good care of you so you can get back on your feet where you need to be.
We want to be loved. I'm sending everybody to her B&B in Georgia, Angie Lee's B&B, because when you go there, guys, there's love. There's
There
love.
is love here.
Love through food, love through
Oh,
attention, love
yes,
through just probably just having conversations with your guest. Oh
yes,
my God, there's love.
yes. There's just love.
Ooh, I love
And it's
it.
the same here. I'm going to say about my girl Rennie here. I know Rennie for a long time now, and I'm so
Woohoo!
proud of you, girl. You became a doctor on me.
I had to keep moving.
You
Absolutely.
became a doctor. I'm so, so proud of you, girl. You
Thank
do it,
you.
you
Thank
work
you
it, and I'm
so
here to
much.
support you as much as I can.
I
And
appreciate
if there's
you.
any way that you want to do another segment about something else, and remember, you're going to be my therapist now.
She's saying as if it's a nonchalant kind of thing.
I
I already
had to put that on
said,
the recording as
I already
proof, as a
said,
witness.
he's slick, y'all. I already told this woman I might need you for the two more segments because she has a lot to say and a lot to offer. And going through an ordeal that you have gone through and still positive, optimistic, hopeful, giving love, sharing love. Ooh,
trying, trying to,
what?
trying to.
Ooh,
But at the end of the day, overall, for everybody out there,
yes,
whatever it is that you're going through, breast cancer is bad, any cancer is bad, any illness is bad, whatever is affecting you, whatever that is,
yes,
just always make sure you maintain your physical health. Do
yes.
something at least 30 minutes a day that's going to help maintain your
Ooh,
health, as
yes,
well as
tell
a
them.
balanced and nutritious diet, because a lot of our ailments happen at the end of our fork.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
The other
yes,
thing is to maintain mental and emotional well-being.
yes,
Self-care, as we keep mentioning over and over again,
yes,
we're going to continue
yes,
mentioning it because it's
yes,
actually the most important thing that we can do for ourselves is self-care, practicing meditation, deep
yes,
breathing
yes,
exercises, seeking
yes,
professional help if you
yes,
need to. I
yes.
mean, that's where I'm at right now, seeking professional help
Right.
and
That's right.
guidance, and also
Absolutely.
setting boundaries. We
Ooh.
have to set boundaries and saying no to commitments and situations that only causes us stress and anxiety.
Well, guys, she didn't even tell me she's a therapist. Hello. I love it. Tell them. Tell them. Tell
Seriously,
them. Yes.
seriously, set
Yes.
boundaries,
Yes.
yo. Everybody needs to have boundaries, even you. So
But my
you
clients
need to
all the
have
time.
boundaries. Exactly.
Boundaries are for you to protect you. Not for nobody else. It's for your own protection.
Exactly.
Own protection.
Exactly. And then engage in hobbies, have some other activities,
Yes.
that brings you joy and
Oh,
creativity,
yes. Oh
um,
my gosh. I had a whole podcast with a pleasure coach. Oh my gosh. We had the best time.
how is that?
And I gotta hook you up with her too. She's amazing. With Antonio
Yay.
Redwine. Amazing, amazing. And just talking about adults not knowing that we can have pleasure. We don't need permission to have fun. Like fun is a bad word for adults. Not a podcast, honestly.
Oh my goodness, you just gave me
Honestly,
chills,
honestly,
girl. You just gave me
honestly. Oh
chills.
my
That
gosh.
is,
Amazing conversation with this woman. But
oh,
before we run, we're gonna wrap up soon. We talk
yes.
about self-care a lot. Tell us what you do daily as your part of your self-care routine.
My daily self-care is, first of all, I always cook my own meals. I don't eat out, number one.
Oh, I wish I
Um,
could say that. Oh, I love
I don't
it.
eat out at all. I'm a chef though. You got to remember I'm a chef. So I'm trained to,
Yes.
to
She knows
cook
what's
well.
good. She knows what's good. Yes. Okay.
Exactly,
Don't eat out.
exactly.
Yes.
Other thing that I do, I try to read a couple of excerpts out of the Bible. At some course of the day, maybe not the beginning, but at
Yes.
some point in the day, I give thanks for my life first thing when I
Yes.
wake up,
Yes.
and before I go to bed.
Gratitude. Mhm.
Exactly. I
Yes.
always, constantly, daily, all day show gratitude as much as I can. I
Yes.
spend a lot of time on my own for self reflection and for self growth.
Yes.
So I'm not getting a lot of external influences, not even noise. So where I'm situated, this is intended for you to
Yes.
disconnect from the mainstream and get reconnected with yourself and with God and nature. And then
Mhm.
you can go back into the world recharged, and um,
I love it.
that's how I like to try to live my life as best as I can. I like to have a glass of wine at the end of the night with
Absolutely.
my
Yes.
dinner. And
Yes. Red wine is good for the
gardening,
body. Mhm.
yes, and gardening has been very
Wow.
therapeutic.
Yes.
Dancing, big time. Get that music on in your house, blast it to
Blast
the
it.
max, and dance.
Dance.
Just
Ooh.
dance like nobody's there. Just let it all out, you know?
I
And
love it.
cry. There's times when you
Oh,
just gotta cry.
purge.
You know, yeah,
Purging.
I
Yes.
mean, you could be driving or sitting, and all of a sudden, all of these emotions just come out,
Yes.
and you gotta let it
Yes.
out because it's
Yes.
toxic if you don't.
Yes. Crying is how we let out what we're feeling inside when we don't have words for it. We sob, we cry. We know what it is in our beings. We can't even
Yes,
express it in words sometimes. It hurts so much.
exactly.
But
Exactly.
purge, we need to purge.
We do. We
And
do.
a good cry, ooh,
Oh,
can
it can be
can
so
solve a
therapeutic.
lot. Oh
It
my God,
really do.
absolutely.
Especially
Just a
when
good cry.
with someone when you can allow yourself to express yourself, to allow yourself
Yes.
to purge, to get
Yes.
it out,
Ooh,
you know? Because that's what we need to do. And that's all part of your personal, pampering as well
yes.
as your
Yes.
personal grooming. You got to keep
Yes.
all of that stuff up to par. I like to look nice before I leave the house. You know what I mean? So put my heels on and, get my glasses on.
You a girl after my heart. People don't understand. When you look good, you feel good.
I
It's an
do.
automatic self-esteem booster. Boom.
Yes. Automatic.
What? Automatic.
Yeah, I'm only going to the grocery store, but I'm
It's
putting
all
my
good
heels
though.
on.
I'm gonna look good.
Yes,
I
I'm
feel
looking
good.
fly, honey. My hair's done. I'm clean. I smell good. I look good. I feel good. Got my music on and I'm jamming while I'm in the supermarket. So I
There's
try
a
to find
pep,
joy everywhere I can.
there's a pep in your step that nobody really understands but you. But because the energy is given off, they can feel it around you and they don't even know what it
Yes.
is.
And
I love
they
it.
want to get in on it. They want to be
That's
like,
right.
"Ooh, yes, what you
Why is she
listening
so
to?"
happy? Why is she so happy?
Exactly. Exactly.
If you
So,
know what I've been through, you'll be happy too.
oh, and that's why I tell it to everybody. Find joy. Find joy today.
Day,
Today.
day,
Live in today.
day. Oh, I love it, girl. I love it. I love it. Because we hear it all the time, but we're not getting it. It's like
You
we
don't
have to
get
go
it
through
until
on
you
our
get
day to day.
older.
We gotta
Yeah, until you
stand.
go through something.
And we shouldn't have to go through
You
something
shouldn't. We should be learning this right off the
every
bat.
day. Every
Yes.
day. I deserve this. I'm worth it. I've
Yes.
earned this.
This is good stuff. Let's keep
Absolutely.
it moving. What other good stuff
Absolutely.
can we do? Like,
I deserve this. I deserve that. I deserve that Chanel bag. I deserve that
I
Mercedes.
worked for it. Yes.
And I
I
can
deserve
afford it.
that
I'm not,
house.
getting the
I
car and I
deserve
can't pay
that
my
car.
rent. I can I've had people say to me, well, I can't just spend this kind of money on me. Really?
I can.
But they're
Listen,
gonna spend on the
if you don't
kids.
have it, that's one thing. That's
Exactly. But
gotta
if you
be,
have it,
but if you have it and you
oh, they
work
feel
for
guilty.
it,
There's guilt. There's guilt. But you earned it. You worked so hard for that.
no, I
Yeah,
want
you
it.
deserve the best. We
Yes.
deserve the best.
There's no
Again, better
reason to
podcast. You
say
deserve the best.
no. Yeah, because you don't know what's going to happen to you later on in life. And then you're going to what? Have regrets that you didn't do those things or
Well,
provide those things for yourself?
the worst thing is to work so hard for your money and have somebody else spends it.
Oh,
Ooh,
no, no, no. You're dead and
ooh,
gone and they don't want spending it.
and have somebody else
I
spend that
prefer to
hard-earned money.
pass away without a nickel if I could, meaning I want to be the one spending it. I don't need to leave an inheritance from someone.
I'm
I really
spending it
don't. I
on
don't
me
have
when
any,
I'm
I don't,
alive. I'm spending it on me when I'm alive. I can die broke. It's okay.
it's
I have enough to cover
okay.
the funeral and we're good to
And
go.
we're gone. Like, why do I want to pass away with millions of dollars? That I can't take it with me. So, and that
It's
means
for the
somebody else will benefit from it, of whom may not have even been part of my life.
may not.
So, no, I don't. I'm not gonna be.
Or they might just spend it with no care because when you don't work and you've earned something, it's not as much valuable to you.
Nope.
So just put it that day. Before we wrap up, anything you want to share with us based on our conversation today? Because we're gonna have another couple of more podcasts with you, but just from today, anything that you want to
Well,
leave our guest with today?
I do actually. just this is what I want to really say.
Okay.
Remember that self-care is not a luxury, but
Correct.
a
Correct.
necessity for your physical, emotional, and mental well being. Just
Yes.
as you nourish and care for others, make the commitment to nurture yourself with kindness, compassion, and self love.
Mhm.
Embrace the power of self care to recharge your spirit, build resilience, and cultivate a life filled with joy,
Wow.
balance, and purpose. You are deserving of the time and effort it takes to prioritize your own well being. By caring for yourself, you become better equipped to care for others and shine your light even brighter in the world. You are worth it. And your self care journey is a beautiful and ongoing adventure.
Now you're giving me chills. I have never
We're
heard it
reciprocated, yes.
so beautifully, beautifully said. And
Thank
it's
you.
all truth.
It is. And if
All
we
truth.
just hold just that little bit right there, if we could just do that every day, I think we'll all see and feel a difference within ourselves.
Yes. And I'll just quickly. I was feeling so sluggish today. And
Mm,
it's cold in New York. It's like 38 degrees where I am. I'm by the water. And I said, it's a sunny day. I said, I gotta go out and get a walk. It's freezing out, but I gotta get it. I feel so sluggish.
right.
You know, my energy is gonna come from that walk.
Yes.
And I bundled up, earmuffs, the whole 9 yards. And I went out for at least 30, 40 minutes. I have a routine that I walk. And I
Nice.
came back and I felt like, yes. I
You're on
felt
fire. Were
so
you ready?
energized.
You were ready?
Yes. Yeah. I felt so energized. And
Good.
just like, it didn't take much.
No.
It
It's
didn't
just a
take
matter of just
much.
breaking out of whatever it is you're doing to do something else. Get distracted for a minute, go for a walk, you know,
Yes.
sit,
Yes.
meditate
Yes.
quietly someplace else outside of where you were, just to change
Absolutely.
your environment a little bit. I
Yes.
tend to go to, like here, like I said, I got a lot of space here, but I like to
Yes.
go to Tallahassee, to the museums a
Mm.
lot, like the
Okay.
car museums. I love cars, so I like to go.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
So again, as you said, it's just a matter of when you're not feeling 100, you just got to do
Yes.
something to kind of hit the
Yes.
reset button a little bit.
Have to. Have to. And I tell you all, listen, if you gotta take a day off, you can take a mental health day off at work to stay home and just
Veg,
work on you,
veg,
do it. Do it.
veg, honey.
Nothing.
Binge watch your favorite program all weekend long and don't move out of your pajamas. That's okay. It's not depression, it's self care because you're giving back to yourself. You're spending
Absolutely.
time with yourself, you know?
Can't stress that enough that we do not prioritize ourselves. I can't. But you guys, you've heard it here. And again, I could not have said it better. It was beautifully said by you.
Thank you.
Love
Thank
it.
you. I hope it hits people's hearts out there. This has been a great segment. Oh my
Oh,
goodness, Miss Rennie. And I'm
oh,
so looking forward to the next one.
oh, you are coming back. Absolutely. You know she is. You have said a couple of things I'm not gonna say right now. I'm like, oh, she did this. No, this is never knew this about this person. More to talk about, I'm telling you. Guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Miss
for having
Angie,
me.
thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you, Rennie.
just a little part of your story. And there's a
Thank you.
lot more. So we'll see her again. But I'm going to have her B&B in the description box. We're going to have her YouTube, all of it. Because I want
Yes.
everyone to go to this B&B in Georgia and get some love.
Thank
Get some
you.
love.
Come and get some
Open
love,
the
y'all.
door.
Y'all
I
know
love
y'all
it.
need it. Come on.
Come get some love. I'm
Come
coming to
cook
get
something
some
with me. You
love, but
see
you
those
can't.
cameras in the background? Come cook something with me.
I love it. I love
Yes.
it. All fresh, homemade,
Organic. Yes.
organic.
Yes.
Wow.
Locally sourced
Love it.
ingredients.
Love
Never
it.
frozen. Always from scratch.
Wow. Because what we put in our bodies matters. It does. It does. It does.
So
Okay. Okay. So we're going to wrap it up. Angie, thank you again. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You got to come back because she will be back at least one or two more times to get to the end of all the other stories we have to talk about. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining me and for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Take care for now.